Om Shri Chinmaya Sadgurave Namaha. Om. Reading of the magazine Tapovan Prasad. Kaunteya Pratijanihi Name Bhakta Pranashati. O Kaunteya, know for certain that my devotee will never perish. Tapovana Uvacha. The repetition of holy names is the easiest step in a life of devotion. Any worldling, any sinner can cry out, O Shiva, O Krishna. So, in this age, pursuing bhakti is the easiest and most important means to reach the goal. Contents interview with Swami Chinmayananda Part 1. The heart of all arts, Swami Tejomayananda. In every doha, the divine, Swami Swarupananda. Readers ask Swami Swarupananda, Part 1, Reiki Cage. Om Shrotriya Namaha, Om Shrotriyaya Namaha, Sharda Kumar. Hearers of the mind and soul, Pratana Sharan. Swamini Gurupriyananda, a sargam of Seva and Bhakti, Anjali Singh. Bhajan, the song of total surrender, Sham Banerjee. From Swara to Ishvara, Poonam Prasad. Name Chinmay Amrut Mahotsav, Global Online Meet. Mission News Itinerary, Chinmay Lahari. Photo credits. Prayer. वैराग्य विवेकद राम हरे वेदांत प्रबोधक राम हरे साम्राज्य मुक्तिद राम हरे ऐश्वर्यद हर्षद राम हरे. We pray to Sri Ram to bless us with the virtues of Vairagya and Viveka. He is the teacher, the revealer of Vedanta. We beseech him to remove our sorrows, Hare. By giving us the highest knowledge, we seek his grace to bestow us with true sovereignty, the empire of liberation. May he give us material prosperity and also the unique bliss of liberation while living. Ram Hare Stotra, verse number 2, Swami Tejomayananda. Guru Dhyanam. नानारूपमिदं विश्वं न केनाप्यस्ति भिन्नता कार्यकारणरूपाय तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः. Prostrations unto the Guru, who sees no plurality anywhere in this world of diverse forms and who shines as the cause and effect of everything. Guru Gita, chapter 1, verse 73. Music that merges all. In the film August Rush, the 11-year-old musical prodigy experienced the world as a symphony. August heard music in the mind rustling through trees, in raindrops tapping rooftops, in the rhythm of footsteps, and in the distant chiming or chime of church bells. For him, every sound became a note, a rhythm, a melody. Music, in its truest form, is exactly that, everywhere and in everything, beyond tradition or culture. It is a communion, a spiritual language, where artists speak directly to the Creator through their creativity. In India, we invoke the divine through sound, in japa, in stotrams, in the mystic dohas of Kabir, in the heartfelt bhajans of Tulsidas, Mirabai, or Tyagaraja, in haunting Sufi songs, and in the rhythmic language of classical instruments. At the heart of all devotional music lies a spirit of inclusivity, dedication to the higher, praise and surrender, to dissolve all constructs of caste, race, and religion, to dissolve one's individuality. Consider the tabla maestro Zakir Hussain, who said, "Every day I grew up studying the Quran, singing Christian hymns, and playing Hindu devotional music. It was all one to me, it was all music, all devotion." He asserted that his tabla was not just an instrument, it was a medium of prayer. The ultimate aim of the artist is to unite with the Lord, to become one with the divine sound, to carry the audience to heights of bliss, to beatitude. As Pujya Guruji Swami Tejomayananda ji says, Swara should lead you to Ishvara, Nartan should elevate you to Paramatman. In the silence between the notes, we hear the Lord. Then the cosmic musician sings through us. We become his instrument, we become Sri Krishna's flute, Devi Saraswati's veena, and Lord Shiva's damaru. Interview with Swami Chinmayananda, Part 1. He wears a strange shade of ochre, which looks almost pink. There are silver knobs on his wooden sandals, which add at least 3 inches to his 6 feet. His long tresses cascade onto his shoulders, framing with black and grey an intensely intelligent face. Swami Chinmayananda, 65, is Hinduism's answer to the countless young men and women who have strayed away over the years, disgusted with the meaningless rituals and the tried therapy of the world's oldest living faith. A distinguished scholar, an ardent teacher, and a compulsive globetrotter, the Swami is today held to be one of the few serious and credible missionaries that Hinduism has to offer. His missions are all over the world, so are his devotees and students, and they are growing at a rate that will soon perhaps make Swami Chinmayananda numerous numero uno in the glittering pantheon of gurus, rishis, bhagavans, and babas who told who hold sway over India's millions and many abroad. In many ways, this is the best thing that could have happened to Hinduism, for the Swami is no quack healer or fast buck merchant. He offers no miracles to lure the gullible. He makes no predictions, reads no fortunes, and sings pians to no politician. Pines. He makes no claims to being a god except for argument's sake, nor does he offer you for a fee the quick route to nirvana. He simply teaches. He is best known for his interpretation of the Gita and almost every day of the year, somewhere or other, in Bonn or Bangkok, Bombay or Baltimore, he has a class on. He is either trying to explain Arjun's dilemma in the midst of battle or the innate logic of Krishna's persuasion. Not all his students are Hindus, neither are they all believers in any religion. More often, they come out of curiosity to see the Swami defend a faith that has grown old and decayed by centuries of blind belief and senile commitment to rituals. There are the usual pot bellied devotees who come to donate fractions of their ill gotten wealth in the hope of buying happiness in another life. There's the same bunch of rich semi literate women in chiffons and diamonds who attend every religious event wearing the same moronic demeanor. There are also, thank God, the young ones from whom the Swami derives his largest following. Pleasant faced young men quietly listening to the voice of religion. Swami Chinmayananda is naturally not his real name. He was born P. Balakrishna Menon on May 8, 1916, somewhere in Malabar. There was nothing very brilliant about this particular Malayali child who grew up and eventually joined the National Herald as a cub reporter. He joined India's nationalist movement in 1941 and was briefly jailed. On release, he went to Rishikesh to meet Swami Shivananda Saraswati to write a journalistic piece on the religion racket. The Swami persuaded the young skeptic to stay back for 6 months at his ashram to see things firsthand. By the end of the 6 months, Balakrishna Menon gave up his name and his profession and assumed the name of Chinmayananda. From Rishikesh, at the foot of the Himalayas, he went further north to spend 10 years at the feet of Swami Tapan Maharaj, the well known sage, while Swami Shivananda Saraswati gave him his name and his robes. It was Tapan Maharaj who educated him in the Shastras. Much of this, of course, hearsay. There is no official biography of Swami Chinmayananda, and unlike most of the other gurus, he offers very little information about himself or his achievements in mission handouts, books, or lecture papers. When I asked him about his past, he laughed it away and said, "Never ask a Swami his past. If you knew the source of a river, would you ever drink from it?" He is modest, intelligent, and accessible. He speaks with a sing song accent and often mispronounces his words. But his passion shows Hinduism is the religion for our times. He asserts with confidence. I met him over 2 long sessions in Calcutta, watched him deliver quite a few famous Gita lectures, saw some of his mission centers, and listened to him articulate his views on life and death, freedom and spiritual bondage, religion and inaction, and the existence of God. I saw the tired lines on his face as he smiled and bore the fawning and the sycophancy of his devotees, suffered stupid questions about the behavior of the stock exchange, drank coffee and fruit juice from persistent hostesses at half hour intervals. It must be tough to be a guru, I said to him after a particularly tiresome session. Not tough, it is lonely, said Hinduism's most famous hostage. Pritish Nandi, why do you give so much importance to the study of Bhagavad Gita? The interview between Swami Chinmayananda and Sri Pritish Nandi was recorded in 1980-81 and aired on BBC. It was also published in Sunday Ananda Bazar publication, Calcutta, as a cover story. Why do you give so much importance to the study of the Bhagavad Gita? You seem to imply that the Gita is the only way to gain insight into the Indian mind, into the Indian sensibility. Don't you think our other religious texts are of equal importance? Swami Chinmayananda said, every religious textbook is of equal importance, but I have no authority to recommend books I have not studied myself. I studied the Gita and it was of great help to me. Therefore, I recommend it to everyone. Unlike the other scriptures, the methodology followed by the Gita appears to be more conducive to the modern scientific mind and educated classes, for they don't believe in anything. They want everything to be rationally proved, intellectually defensible. And the approach of the Gita is very rational because Krishna had to address a dynamic, young, educated, intelligent man who was a born skeptic. Arjuna did not believe or understand that Krishna was an intelligent, intellectual giant. It is only in the 11th chapter that he got a glimpse, and thereafter his attitude changed. But till the 11th chapter, he was absolutely rational. He did not believe a word of what Krishna said. Krishna had to make him believe it by the strength of logic. This approach appeals to people like you and me. It converted me from an atheist to a believer. You were an atheist? Atheist? Of course. Any intelligent, rational man is an atheist. Until, of course, he is initiated into religion. So when you write and attack religious people, I sympathize with you because I was also like that. I also thought that religion means ritualism. I never knew there was a science to it, that ritualism was just a bark, the outer bark of the great tree that shelters the whole community. The bark is necessary for the tree, but the bark is not the tree. That is what I try to explain to young people like you. The power of an ideal. You are often exhorting young people to search for a new ideal that would give them motivation for self sacrifice and dynamic action. Wherein do you think such an ideal lies? Each one will have to find such an ideal. When I say you must have a good, faithful wife, don't ask me where you can get such a wife. A wife you can never get. A girl you can find and make her your wife. Are you quite sure that I can never get a wife? laughs loudly. An ideal I can never give you. You have to find your ideal. Like, let us say, excellence in your profession, or a potential belief, an economic system you may like to propound, or a social value, or simply your own moral attitude. Uncompromisingly, you will have to live up to it under any circumstance. You must be ready to die for it if necessary, but not yield an inch. Once you find an ideal, the best in you starts coming up. Until this ideal is found and set, the best never comes out. You might get superficial efficiency, but that's not enough. It is not the best. For example, look at Mahatma Gandhi. So long as he was M.K. Gandhi, he was a third rate man with no hope for any success. All that he achieved was that he possessed barristery, and that is because nobody ever fails in barristery. Laughs. Now, when he comes to India, yes, in Africa, nothing happened. African politics, third rate. All that he gained was that he lost his teeth, nothing else. When he came back to India, as luck would have it, he suddenly got an ideal to pursue freedom for 400 million people. Once he got that ideal and was ready to sacrifice everything else for it, look at how the man's personality grew from week to week, month to month. He was no more a 4 foot or 5 foot high, big headed man with spreading ears, a chinless man with effeminate world and stammering language, everything useless. Out of him came a brilliance such that he carved a permanent niche, a niche in world history. History is not complete without Gandhiji's chapter. Where did he get it all from? From his uncompromising personality. One ideal and the whole thing changes. Vivekananda must have been there in Narendra, but on Narendra he was important, an ordinary, useless university student. But once he got an ideal and started pursuing it, in 5 years' time you saw a magnificent unfolding of his personality. Out of Narendra came a Vivekananda. A third rate Prince Siddhartha, at the age of 28, the fellow did not know that there was death, that there was old age, that there was disease in the world. Think of the enormous ignorance of the man. Once he got an ideal and held on to it, out of the stupid mud plaster beamed out the eternal Prince of Compassion, Buddha. Without an ideal to hook yourself onto, that depth of possibilities in you cannot be unearthed or dredged out. Would you believe that political ideals can also help to transform the condition of our society? Straight political ideals without any moral or spiritual strings attached. Any ideal can, not just political ideals, artistic ones too. The belief that I can be the great artist, maybe a dancer, a painter, or a musician, it doesn't matter. The best in you then starts coming out. But this can also create a great but completely a moral artist, a great musician with a fascist vision of the world, a great writer or painter who is committed to his work but has a completely perverse worldview that can spark off totally negative political movements. Surely, an artistic ideal is not enough. A moral stand is important for any creative person. Otherwise, he could well be taking mankind backwards towards fascism, for instance. It is not the ideal that puts man back, it is the interpretation. You can't say that religion is the cause of wars or the disaster in Iran. Can you say that Islam is not the cause? It is Islam interpreted in a particular way. Similarly, Hinduism is not the cause for the Harijan problem in the country now. It is the interpretation of Hinduism. Caste is a universal principle. It is man made and you suffer for it. It is not Hinduism. Take democracy. Government of the people, for the people, by the people. But by the time you practice it in a parliament, it becomes government of the people, for the people, by the people, on the people, and people suffer. So even the best things, when mishandled, become the worst of things. So don't say that Nietzsche was the cause for Hitlerism. No, no. What Nietzsche said was that the Aryans are the best among people. But Hitler took only that out of context and interpreted it in his own way and damned himself. What can we do? Relevance of religion. Many people believe, Swamiji, that there is a vast hiatus today between the world of religion and the world of everyday reality, and that this explains why more and more young people are moving away from the spiritual quest and seeking their answers in the tough materialistic world around them, where survival itself is the most challenging battle. Would you agree? Would you agree that religion is a luxury in a scenario where staying alive is so difficult, particularly in the poorer countries of the world? I think you are partially blind. You see only with one eye. You see only people moving away from religion and striving to find their values in materialism. You didn't see the other stream. People dropping out of universities and colleges and professions and seeking spirituality. I have 30 students here to train in the last batch, Americans, young boys and girls. It is they who are now running my school there, my Hindu seminary there in California. So don't think that it is only one way traffic. No, it's only that I still feel that this traffic of people moving away from religion is considerably larger than the traffic you speak of purely in numbers. I wouldn't say that it can be because materialistic attractions draw people away from religion and self discipline. But why is there this vast gap, let us say, between the search for spiritual values and the quest for a materialistic reordering of society based on principles of justice and equality? First, tell me what is religion. Tell me, and then you will understand. Materialism, you know, it is purely selfish. I want to be one up. My happiness is all important. My wife and my children must be happy. I don't care a hoot for others. It is utterly self centered. But surely religion is the same. Each and every religious person is searching for his or her own private nirvana, his or her own self realization. This is an equally self centered search. What does nirvana means? Self realization. You see, nirvana is not a piece of cake that he wants to get. It is not wealth that he puts in a bank. It is trying to expand his consciousness. He wants to embrace the whole universe, not with the hands, but not with power, not with money, but with understanding. It's a new dimension of consciousness he is attempting. On one hand, you have bhoga, sensual, materialistic living, to withdraw the mind's attention from these wonders. This dissipation in the world of objects, and to quieten it, to turn it towards the spring of life in you, is called yoga. Yoga and bhoga is not in the physical body. It is not in the place where you are staying, not in the clothes you are wearing. It is in the mental attitude, coated, booted, and suited, with bedi in hand. You can still be a yogi, a man who is jatadhari, with only vibhuti all over and nothing but rangot, can be the greatest of bhogis, isn't it? It's all the physical appearance, it's the mental attitude. It is not the physical appearance, it is the mental attitude. So, one is expecting or demanding or hoping for happiness from the aggrandizement of things outside, to acquire, possess, embrace, indulge, and enjoy the objects outside. The other is now in this finite world, in the realm of time. I cannot have a permanent, peaceful, happy state. These are all right as recreation, but the main permanent happiness cannot be there. Thus, man withdraws his attention from the outer world and, with a steady mind, through contemplation, tries to reach the higher echelons to consciousness in himself, that is religion or spiritualism. In fact, religion is the technology by which these spiritual ideals can be reached. So, without religion, spirituality is zero. Religion means the withdrawal. No, not withdrawal. The gymnasium for the mind is trained to withdraw from all these and turn towards the higher. For good health, a gymnasium is necessary. Not only that, but you must also have good food and discipline. You must go to the gym to develop all your muscles. Similarly, to evolve spiritually, it is not only sufficient that we know philosophy, which is in the Upanishads, etc., but we must have a technology by which we can reach there. Purify your mind, learn the way to turn your mind away from the outer world. Find out which direction you should turn your attention to. To be continued. Thoughts and quotations of Paramapuja Gurudev Swami Chinmayananda Ji. Sadhana is to be measured not by the quantity of what you have done, but by the quality of what it has blessed you with. Of all the spiritual practices, the most efficient is the constant remembrance of the Lord, Namasmaran, with a heart overflowing with love and devotion. The outer world is but an expression of the oneself which is in all Sri Narayana. Seek Him through love, search Him through your devotion, invoke Him with prayer, and finally meet Him in meditation. Only through a correct understanding of the truth, which is all powerful, can a true spirit of self surrender come. Plow the time with study, sow the seeds of your own goodness in the ample fields of time, water them with your devotion to the project. Remain forever Narayan centered. Make the whole day, one way or the other, a fit life to be offered unto Him in dedication and constant remembrance. Progress it then more sure. Progress is then more sure and quicker. The seeker who has given up his body chariot entirely to the supreme control of the divine charioteer, to him even disaster spells success. The highest love is when we seek, discover, and experience our essential oneness with the very substance of truth, the Lord. It is called devotion. The practice of bhakti requires no material wealth, no stupendous effort to control the activity of the mind, and no exceptional powers of discrimination. The mind will go back to its ruts now and then. It will, it must, it is natural. But by right discrimination and Ishwara Smaran, level up the old ruts and cement it well with Om, Om, Om. Do not be over anxious for anything in life. Keep the surrender bhav. Narayan, Narayan. He is with us all. Without Him, we are zero. True devotion transforms, revives, and divinizes the devotee. Devotion does not mean love to the Lord alone. This devotion, subtler than the subtlest and all pervading, will naturally, without effort, embrace all creation, for all are His forms only. Daily prayers and sincere devotion for the Lord with an innocent, loving heart make us achieve everything in life. Devotion in our heart, when it pervades and hymns through our relationships in the world outside, it becomes true bhajan. Keep smiling despite everything. Have consolation at His feet in His smaran. If the surrender is full, dedication complete, and motives pure, even ordinary actions become great yajnas. Never allow the mind to wander, and if at all it does, be fully aware of it. Learn to be ashamed of it. All wanderings will end. An individual's life must be lived against a constant background music of divine awareness. Let our life be a devotional song sung in praise of Him who is ever in our hearts. True bhajan is a total subjective surrender in love and devotion at the altar of the Lord, as conceived by the devotee. Use the broom of scriptures, the whitewash of satsang, and the furnishing of upasana to provide the reception of contemplation, and in meditation the Lord shall feel thee. When we enter the river of the world outside, let us put on a lavish quota of Narayan oil upon our mind so that we are not directly touched by whatever comes in contact with us. Every experience to a true devotee is but a reaffirmation of his beauty and play. Make your home an ashram and retire into the caves of inner life. Don't pollute that place with samsaric feelings and mental agitations. Devotion to the Lord is necessary to eliminate the ego more and more. In and through work, repeat Hari Om. Mantra writing is the easiest way to fix concentration in us. Your eyes are seeing, your mouth is softly chanting the mantra, and your ears are listening to it. Thus, the mind becomes very easily single pointed. During the japa, gather the scattered rays of the mind and through meditation focus them at one point. If bhakti is the emotional accompaniment, bhajan represents the joy dance of activities in the life of the diligent devotee. Worship the Lord, He is the only one who will never disappoint you. Hari Om. Shri Guru Bhyo Namaha. Hari Om. We continue article reading in next class. Om Shri Chinmaya Sadgurave Namaha.